it's too much almost when a movie makes you question everything that you think you know about human life and your own existence and your value and your place in the world. Don't you think, Joshua? That's how I felt watching this movie.
It was a good try. Yeah, you almost had it, but no, this movie was silly.
Welcome to Drawing Conclusions. Today we are reviewing Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom.
Roar! Lots of that.
There was actually quite a bit of that, surprisingly enough. Wait, no, that was expected.
Yeah.
It's a movie, I think, that tries to take itself seriously and fails. What do you think, Josh?
Well, I think they tried to walk this line between doing something with some serious themes and also trying to give an audience a good summer popcorn flick.
Yeah.
And yes, so in trying to do that, they didn't really get... Honestly, I don't think they really got either. I think they succeeded more with the popcorn side.
Yes, definitely.
And failed with the serious tone stuff.
Yeah, and the serious tone stuff kind of detracted from the popcorn.
Yeah, it got in the way.
Flight stuff. So
Really
what happened to me watching this movie is that I was like interested and on the edge of my seat. Like, it was really intense. There were a lot of great action sequences, and I would really get into it. And then sometimes this plot stuff would just come in that would totally derail all of my interest in the movie, my excitement about it, you know.
Right, it's like and cops showing up to break up the good party.
Right. And no, the entire plot was not necessarily bad.
No. But
there were things about it that were not for me. Let's just say good. Not good. But what was good about the movie, Josh? What did you enjoy about Jurassic World?
I enjoyed the cast. I think, Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard coming back to do their roles again, along with the new actors they got in. I think everybody was really good, very entertaining. They worked well with each other. Visually, it was, stunning as always. They were just really great stuff. And I actually even liked the startup of the show. I think it, like the first half or more of the movie was entertaining. I kind of liked where it was going, and then it went somewhere else. What about you? What did you like?
I thought the performances were quite good. I thought, Chris Pratt's just always enjoyable to watch, and Bryce Dallas Howard I think is really great, and I enjoyed. What's his name? Justice Smith, or what was his name?
So.
Anyway, who was the systems analyst, and there was some humor in the film, which I always appreciate when they can throw some humor in there. I mean, I was a little frustrated by the plot from the beginning. It seemed very much like a retread of The Lost World in some ways. I mean, it's a little different, obviously, but it's definitely got that same kind of feel to it. Like Jurassic World kind of had a Jurassic Park on steroids kind of feel to it. Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom is kind of like Jurassic or The Lost World on steroids, right? Like it's like taking that kind of basic story idea and then pumping it up. But having said that, like I said, there were some great action sequences. The hook at the beginning was really good, even with some of the silliness that I felt was in there. And the performances were good, and there was some good humor. And I thought the little girl who played Maisie was a fine child actress. She did a good job. So, and it was fun to see Ted Levine, and the dinosaur designs were really cool, and I think visually it was very a stunning film, and like the sequences they really built up the tension, the excitement. You really felt on the edge of your seat for a lot of it, and so that popcorn flick action,
it was definitely
blockbuster type, feel that you want to this kind of movie. That's where they succeeded.
Yeah, that stuff all worked, and it worked well, and I kind of wish they would have kept on that track. So, with that, what didn't you like about this show? Try to keep it under 1,000 words.
Yeah. So the thing is, it's really hard to talk about what I didn't like about the show without revealing things
spoilers,
with the plot. So I'm going to try to do this without spoiling the movie for you. Although telling you that it is kind of like The Lost World, and which I think you can tell from the trailer. I mean, that could have been done well, but it was really the characters and the way that they reacted to things, or the way that they didn't react to things, and the dialogue and some of the choices that they made. They seemed stupid to me, illogical, not grounded in reality, and then tried to bring in something like this really huge, like philosophical idea about what it means to be human and the value of life and everything, and then they're like, ta-da! And then barely touched on it, you know.
Yeah, it's like they just kind of talk around it almost.
Yeah, and then
it's
not even really talked around. I mean, you know, and then the messaging, the themes and messages of the movie are just really muddled and conflicting. Like they're in contradiction to one another, to the point where I don't even know what I'm supposed to feel. I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about the dinosaurs, or what their value is, or whether they should be saved, or, you know, anything.
So I think with them trying to do with Jurassic Park and Jurassic World being similar, having the Lost World and then Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom being similar, I just think that was a bad move, because I hate the Lost World. Yeah. It's like one of my least favorite movies of all time. And so mirroring that film, I think, was a real big mistake. And they actually did a better job in this one, because I didn't hate this movie. I mean, there's some things in it that I thought, well, okay, well, that's kind of dumb. And it all happens, like, for me, most of it in, like, the third act, or, you know, the last quarter of the show.
Right.
It just kind of takes a big left turn, and it's it just gets really ridiculous. Yeah. And there's parts where it's like almost like gothic horror, you know, scare fest, and it doesn't work, and just overuse of shadows and things like that. And then, like you said, the characters just making just oddball choices and things happening, and they're not like scolding one another for like ramifications to their actions. They're just kind of like, hey, you know, what if, you know?
Right.
Like, trying not to like be a buzzkill. And it's like, no, you need to be the buzzkill right here and say, no, that's a bad idea. But nobody does it, and so it's just like, I mean, there was one part in the film in particular where, like, the entire audience, I don't know if you caught this.
Yes.
Everybody groaned. They're like, oh.
Right. A character made a choice. It was actually Ted Levine's character, so that when you watch it, you'll know what happens. But it's like he makes this choice, and everybody goes, really?
Yeah.
Everybody was like, oh, give me a break.
I know. They're just like, oh, come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it was so flimsy just to get the rest of the show going. It was like, what? Come on.
Right.
But, I mean, I still enjoyed the show. I mean, even though I did think the ending was one of the dumbest things ever.
Yeah.
I was disappointed in that part, for sure.
And I think they tried to have some twists in there in the movie, but I felt like the twists were predictable. Like, I saw them coming from a mile away.
Right.
Except for what happened at the very, very end. Which surprised me and angered me, and it was really like the movie to me was salvageable, and I could have dealt with all of the other stupidity in the movie up until that last like 5 minutes of the movie, and the decision that was made, and how everybody acted about the decision that was made, and everything. I just was like,
it was like,
really?
Oh, that's okay. It's like,
you know, and the kind of equivalencies that were trying to be drawn, I think, you know, by the writers and directors, whatever, it just like, it's been several days actually since we watched it, and I'm still still talking about it. It makes me really irritated.
The nonsense is thick. It's just, there is some nonsense in this show, but overall, I would give this probably, I don't know, 2.5 fossils out of 5. It for the most part it works, but it does fall short. It's definitely not as good as the last one, Jurassic World. So Fallen Kingdom does fall short of that, and there's a lot of fun stuff in it, and the cast is great, music's great, you know, as always. And again, there's a lot of great things in the show, but ultimately it does come up short.
Yeah, and you know what's sad is I actually think up until that last little bit of that movie, like the third act, like you were saying, I actually think it was more like a 3.5 star range, and actually was better than the first Jurassic World, because in the beginning, I was sitting there going, you know what? I'm enjoying this more than I enjoyed the original.
Right,
and then
I remember that.
They really screw it up
in
the end. You know, it was really... And you know, the whole entire ending, you feel like all they're doing by writing it this way is trying to set it up for a sequel for a third movie, to do a trilogy, a Jurassic World trilogy. And so it doesn't feel like, so it's like, you know, one of those movies where you go and you watch the movie and you feel like the whole thing is just about trying to get to a third movie,
Right.
rather than about the story itself or the characters or any point that they're trying to make or anything, you know. And I don't know, it's just sad.
Yeah. Well, so in conclusion, should you see this movie? Sure. I mean, see it in the theater. It is spectacular looking, and for the most part, fun. But be prepared for a whole lot of stupid at the end.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I'm yeah. Agreed. I had nothing intelligent to add there. I apologize.
You showed it. Anyways.
Oh, that was rude.
It's okay, dum dum.
I'm not even going to compliment your art now because you said that.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, thank you for joining us for Drawing Conclusions review of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. We do have an exciting announcement. We have started Drawing Conclusions Patreon, where you can lend your support, but also where you can get access to all kinds of exclusive content through Patreon that you can't get anywhere else. Our Patreon feed, of course, our podcast, monthly art tutorials from Josh, digital prints. So go ahead and check that out. There's a link in the video description, and it will take you right to our page, and you can see all the kinds of things that you can get when you join the Drawing Conclusions community on Patreon.
Right, and for certain subscribers, you get physical prints as well.
Yeah. So it's really exciting. Go ahead and check out that opportunity. And for this video, of course, don't forget to like,
Subscribe,
comment,
and share.
Thanks.